Your life, your world, your news. This is 69 News, live at 10.
All right, still tallying snowfall totals tonight as we go on the air, as the second winter storm of the week puts a few more inches on top of the few inches that fell Monday into Tuesday. But this latest storm is kind of backwards. The Lehigh Valley has ended up with less snow than counties to our south. Good evening, I'm Rob Vaughn.
I'm Wendy Davis. The light snow that came down most of the day has tapered off tonight.
A winter weather advisory ended tonight. That means many are now focused on cleaning up, and that includes our municipal road crews and independent plow drivers.
We have team coverage tonight. Rose Itzkovitz is in Berks County with a look at the conditions there. But first, we're going to turn to Grace Grifferton. She is in Lower Macungie Township, Lehigh County. And Grace, the back-to-back storms are giving a big boost to those local contractors after almost no snow last winter.
Rob, Wendy, that's right. A boost to business that is very welcomed. You know, over the past few seasons, we haven't had much snow, and some plow drivers here say that left them hurting for work. But now they're being put to work thanks to Mother Nature's fury. We caught up with a local company who clears lots like this, essential lots, retailers, warehouses, and healthcare facilities. We learned it takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, and a lot of coffee.
Snow removal can be a thankless job.
If you're driving down the road and the truck, the state pushes snow into your driveway, it's very easy to get frustrated.
And Matthew Roy, a plow driver and one of the owners of Lehigh Valley Lawn, says each winter can be like a feast or a famine for people like him.
Without snow, there really isn't that much to do.
This year, though, there's a feast of powder blanketing commercial properties that he...
I'm like a little kid. I can't sleep before snow.
The bigger the snow, the better.
And his fleet are very thankful for.
We're already doing much better this year, which is very important for the snow removal contractors. It also provides employment for a lot of guys who are currently laid off in the construction field that don't have a job.
3 significant snowfalls in under 2 weeks.
What that means for the snow guys is it never stops.
These guys are earning their keep even before the flurries fall.
The actual work starts way before the snowstorm.
It begins with the salt or brine. That has to be spread. Different properties require different maintenance.
The more critical the site, the more intense the coverage.
Hospitals and distribution centers require constant coverage.
Could be 12 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours. Some events go very long.
Usually a lot of sugar food just to keep your energy up and to keep you awake. So a lot of coffee.
Winters can be slow or go, go, go for days on end. But if you ask Roy, all drivers prefer to keep pushing.
And you know, what you may not realize at home is after these big piles of snow are created and these lots appear clear, there is still more work for plow drivers. That's because they have to monitor these lots to ensure that there's not freezing or black ice. And if there is, then there's even more work to do. We're live in Lehigh County. Grace Grifferton.
Okay, thank you, Grace. Allentown City workers still have a busy night ahead of them. With much of the plowing now done, crews tell us their focus is turning to keeping the roads from icing up. We caught trucks heading out to salt the secondary roads and alleys in the city tonight. Crews will also monitor the main streets and bridges for signs of freezing and icy spots. As we mentioned earlier, our southern counties got hit with more snow today.
Yeah, the snow was enough for kids to get off from school for the day, but how did people who had to be out and about fare in the weather? 69 News reporter Rose Itzkovitz, she's live in Warrington Township, Berks County, with that part of the story. Rose?
Yeah, hey guys, so we have been driving around a little bit, just checking out the roads. We ended up landing here at Valley Square. This is where people tell us some of the shops were actually closed because of the weather. We drove around. We actually visited other businesses that stayed open, and they told us that the weather definitely slowed down their businesses' busyness. From daylight all the way to sundown, snow falling pretty steadily until close to 8 p.m. in Berks County around the Plumstead Township area. Bringing business to those in the snow removal field and taking business away from others.
But it's been a lot slower than normal for a Friday. I'm hoping that tomorrow we make up for it.
Here at Dominic's Pizzeria,
we love their pizza.
Patrons say an unusually unpacked Friday night.
It's definitely slower than normal.
Normally it's crazy, but tonight it's a lot calmer.
So with the road slushy, maybe everyone's sitting at home ordering delivery. Or maybe not. New Spatola's Pizza does deliver, and they tell me even those straight-to-your-door orders also slow all day. So while some never left the house,
I'm an eye doctor in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. And
others, like Joshua Fabrazzini, driving an hour away just to see his patients. His emergency visits appreciated it.
like when they walk through the door, you're like, man, you guys are open. This is awesome.
But were you kind of hoping that maybe they wouldn't be open so you wouldn't have to drive all that way today?
Well, I own my own business, so it's kind of like I'm hoping that I can get to work.
Still others, though, enjoying that snow day.
I'm self-employed. I do construction. We were closed today. It was nice to have a snow day off.
And we actually just swiveled our camera over here because I wanted to show you the roads. You know, driving here, even from just 20 minutes north from here, you can see that the roads changed a little bit thicker, a little bit slicker, a little bit more slippery. So, you know, just another chance to tell you guys to always proceed with caution when you're out on these roads. We're live in Bucks County. Rose Iskovitz, 69 News.
Good advice. Thank you, Rose.
Well, the snow is being followed by a weekend of bitter cold and some gusty winds, too.
Yeah, for the latest on that, we go to meteorologist Clayton Stiver.
Yeah, guys, we've just kind of talked about still having to watch for some areas of black ice and maybe a little blowing snow across the roads here as well with those gusty winds that will ramp up this weekend and make for some really low wind chill values. Before we get to that, though, let's recap snowfall totals for this most recent storm. Yeah, for a lot of us here in the Lehigh Valley, again, one of these minor nuisance type storms here, generally a couple inches. Macungie at 2.8 inches, as well as New Tripoli, Hellertown 2.5 inches, Salisbury Township at 2.3, Bushkill Township at 2 inches, in Berks County a little bit more here, generally between 3 and 4 inches, just over 4 for Spring Township, Huff's Church and Reading at 3.5, 3.3 inches for Bern Township, Blandon at 3 inches. Then, as we just said too, heading to the south, this is where we saw our highest totals here. Bucks and Montgomery counties, Royersford there at 6 inches, Norristown 5.25 for New Hope, Richboro at 4.5, 4.3 inches for Lansdale. And finally, in the more immediate Philly and Camden area, Belmont nearly 6 inches, as well as Blackwood in Camden County, New Jersey. Downtown Philly, 5 inches. Cherry Hill in Jersey at 5 inches. And Fox Chase at 4.3 inches. But our snowstorm now largely done with, still maybe a lingering flurry or a brief snow shower out there tonight. Otherwise, just kind of partly or mostly cloudy sky and temperatures down into the 20s with some teens across the higher elevations to the north. Yeah, low pressure making its way on out to sea now, actually kind of weakening as well. You can see a lot of that precipitation really fizzling with the system, but in its wake, that northwesterly flow driving in a reinforcing shot of Arctic cold air. There's a look at Blue Mountain. Great snowmaking weather again tonight, even though Mother Nature has shut off the natural stuff here. We'll see some gradual clearing overnight. Low temperatures well back into the teens with time. And notice the winds ramping up 10 to 20 plus miles per hour. That will make for wind chill values down near zero by first thing tomorrow morning. Looks like it's largely dry tomorrow, but limited sunshine. We're going to keep those winds gusty for a good portion of the weekend. We'll have a full detailed look at it coming up in a bit with your 7-day forecast. And I'm also tracking a pattern reversal. Pretty good thaw coming next week. Stick around for the details right now. We'll send it back to Wendy and Rob.
All right, thank you, sir. Residents of an upper Bucks County borough lost water service on this frigid night. Richland Town officials said the entire borough had to be shut off around 7:30 tonight because of repairs to fix a water line leak that worsened in a very short amount of time. Before that, a smaller area had been shut off starting in the afternoon. Richland Town borough officials say they're hoping to start restoring water service tonight at around midnight. And there's more to come on 69 News at 10.
An ethics complaint has two Pennsylvania state lawmakers taking aim at each other. That story coming up.
And the head prosecutor in one of the criminal cases against former President Trump is now facing allegations of her own. The story when we come back.
Upon approaching the 18th green, Issa Tanaka silently proclaimed, "My brother may think he's a better golfer, a more witty conversationalist. He may think he's superior, but he's not. Because I switched to consumer cellular for the same coverage for up to half the cost. He may have mom's dimples, but I pay less for wireless. I'm the one who wins." Birds, when freedom calls, we're here to answer.
At Consumer Cellular, you get the same exact coverage as the largest carriers for up to half the price.
That's amazing.
And great customer service based here in America.
That's amazing.
And no hidden fees, no contracts, and free activation.
That's
Hello? Barbara?
Sorry, I was muted. That's amazing.
I know, right?
Can you see that?
The award-winning food documentary series Food Curated is now streaming on your favorite device. Follow creator Liza DeGia as she shares inspiring stories of people and the food they love. Catch the top-rated series available anytime, anywhere, right here on View It.
Authorities have identified the driver killed in a crash in Schuylkill County on Sunday night. 21-year-old Hunter Adelise from Germansville, Lehigh County, died in a single-car wreck on Route 895 in West Penn Township. There's no word on what led to the crash. You may have heard his name. He was known for being a race car driver. He competed at Grandview Speedway in Berks County.
An ethics complaint has been filed against Pennsylvania State Senator and gubernatorial candidate Doug Mastriano. According to Spotlight PA, State Senator Art Haywood's complaint against the Republican Mastriano relates to the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. Haywood, a Montgomery County Democrat, alleges Mastriano abused his office to try to overturn the 2020 election, and by being on the Capitol grounds during the attack. Mastriano called the complaint a PR stunt and questioned Haywood's ethics in submitting it.
U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland is calling for a speedy trial in the federal election subversion case against former President Trump. The trial is scheduled for March, but it has been put on pause by an appeal over presidential immunity. Federal prosecutors allege Trump pressured officials to overturn the 2020 election and encouraged supporters involved in the January 6, 2021 Capitol riots. The former president has 3 other criminal cases pending against him. He has denied wrongdoing in all the cases. He calls each one a political witch hunt. It's unclear if any of these criminal cases will go to trial before the November election. Now, the district attorney in the Georgia criminal case against Trump and associates is coming under intense scrutiny. Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis is under the microscope for hiring an outside lawyer she allegedly is romantically involved with. The qualifications of that lawyer, Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade, are being called into question. Next month, a judge will consider a motion seeking to have Willis disqualified from the case. Willis is defending the hiring of Wade as appropriate, but she has yet to directly address whether the two are romantically involved. Willis is leading the case against Trump and 18 co-defendants. They're accused of conspiring to try to overturn the 2020 election results in Georgia.
The date has been set for Hunter Biden's deposition as part of House Republicans' impeachment inquiry into his father. Hunter Biden has agreed to appear for a closed-door deposition February 28th. This after he had offered to testify publicly. Republican-led House committees had recommended holding Hunter Biden in contempt unless he appeared in private for testimony on his overseas business dealings. The impeachment inquiry so far has not uncovered evidence directly implicating President Biden of wrongdoing involving his son's work. Democrats have criticized Republican lawmakers who refused to comply with subpoenas related to the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, while seeking to hold Hunter Biden in contempt.
Stream free, live, local news and video on demand on View It, all from the comfort of your couch. Available for Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV. Download it from your favorite app store today.
The AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by Toyota. Dear winter, 22 all-wheel and four-wheel drive Toyotas are ready. Toyota.
After 2 winters of next to no snow, it seems like our region is quickly getting reacquainted with the white stuff.
Yep. Today's storm lasted most of the day, as you know, but left people mostly unfazed. Here's a look at how they weathered the storm.
What do you think about this more snow here?
Snow don't bother me. Oh, I love it. I love the snow.
I think it's fine. I'm not doing anything.
My Uncle John's getting older, so I like to take care of the neighbors. So that's what I do.
We're out of practice. It hasn't snowed in so long.
Right. It's a little bit easier. It's not as deeper. It's a light, fluffy stuff.
Not bad. It's a little lighter than normal.
We haven't had it in a while, so it's not bad.
I'd rather have snow than rain. You know, snow, you can make snowmen. You know, you can have a snow fight.
Great ending there with
Yes.
the dog coming in for a landing. All right, a glimpse of a snowy day in the Lehigh Valley. How about that? And now at the end of that snowy day, when things have calmed down a little bit, we check the forecast.
Yeah, let's go to Clayton.
Yeah, and so we're already past last season's snowfall total here for Allentown, specifically 10.1 inches of snow now measured for the season. Last year, only 6.3 inches of total snowfall. You can see the winter of 21-22 there was a bit below normal as well, still more than last winter at 19.5 inches. But, you know, as far as the last time we had at least 6 inches of snowfall goes, though, well, you have to go back nearly 3 years. That big storm at the very beginning of February in 2021. And, of course, that was a very snowy winter. A lot of that snow coming in February there with 58.1 inches of total snowfall. Of course, the question mark still remains as to what Mother Nature has in store the rest of winter. This winter, we certainly shall see. But yeah, 10.1 inches measured for Allentown here so far. That leaves us just 0.8 of an inch below normal now here for the season to date. Should be at 10.9 inches for Philly, 6.3 inches of measured snow so far this season. That leaves us a little bit more than 1 inch below that normal to date, which should be at 7.5 inches. Our storm largely done with now tonight. Of course, still be mindful of black ice out there. Still going to be some sloppy backcountry or secondary roads perhaps, and still, you know, going through the course of the weekend, watching for some of that black ice. The winds are going to ramp up as well. That'll blow some snow around a little bit onto the roads as well. Just some things to keep in mind here. But otherwise, yeah, things largely dry. Still maybe a brief flurry early on tonight or a brief snow shower, but our storm system generally exiting on out to sea now and weakening in its wake, though. A resurgence of Arctic cold air. Yeah, look at these current temperatures back to our north and west, seeing lots of teens and single digits. And we're talking highs here in the 20s throughout the third weekend of our January. Limited sunshine tomorrow. It is pretty dry, but 22 the high, feeling much colder with the winds. Sunday, a bit more sunshine, still brisk with the winds, though. Your high only 29 degrees. And again, we've got to factor in the winds here, so this is what it'll really feel like. Wind chills down to close to 0 degrees by first thing tomorrow morning. Wind chills staying in the single digits even tomorrow afternoon, and we'll stay in the single digits overnight Saturday into Sunday morning first thing. Now, you will see wind chills getting a little bit higher here Sunday afternoon. Still very cold. Wind chills down in the teens, but that's a little bit of an improvement compared to before. You get a sense the winds finally starting to back down there later Sunday. The other big reason for the cold, a big dip in the jet stream trough locked in place right now. It's been that way the last several days. Look at how that changes, though, for much of next week. A pretty strong ridge takes hold cold here across the eastern half of the country, and a southwesterly wind to go along with that with time was really going to help to warm the temperatures back up. Now, it's not like we're talking, well in the 50s or 60s or anything like that, but certainly a good chance at some 40s for highs as we look at the trend over the next 10 days. Yeah, more seasonable middle upper 30s to start next week, and then we're approaching 50 maybe by next Thursday, upper 40s Friday, a little bit lower, but still generally above 40 for next weekend. And as you might imagine, any chances for precipitation during that period going to be in the liquid form. Yeah, we turn a little active here again. It doesn't look like it's anything that heavy, but numerous opportunities for mainly just rainfall from Tuesday and beyond. Future SATRAT overnight going to get some clearing a little bit later here. That'll set us up for sunshine to start Saturday morning, but I anticipate skies to turn out rather cloudy by midday Saturday, and for a good chunk of the rest of the day here Saturday, maybe a brief flurry north and west, but pretty dry otherwise. Fair skies for your Saturday night. Sunday getting back to that mostly sunny sky here as said, and it's still just going to, of course, be a cold day with those brisk winds for a while. Tonight, 14 your low, flurries early, and then that clearing sky, northwesterly winds kicking up 10 to 20, 21 tomorrow. Gusty northwesterly winds 15 to 25. Mostly cloudy sky here and quite cold. The AccuWeather 7-day forecast nearing 30 for Sunday. Windy still, mostly sunny. 36 less wind on Monday, partly sunny. Increasing clouds, upper 30s on Tuesday. A little chance for some light rain and snow Tuesday night. Really doesn't amount to much, I think. And then Wednesday, it's maybe dry for a while, mostly cloudy, but some showers return late Wednesday, and cloudy and mild, but shower chances next Thursday into Friday morning. Wendy, Rob, back to you.
Thanks, Clayton.
Coming up in sports, the Sixers opened a quick 2-game road trip in Orlando.
And Lehigh Wrestling opened a busy weekend on their home mat. Dan has the highlights next.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Margaret.
And we're your local husband and wife team that buys houses for cash.
No matter your situation, we have a solution. We're here to help.
We'll buy your house and close quickly or on your timeline. We buy properties in any condition or in any price range.
With no commissions, no closing costs, and no repairs.
Whether your house is in perfect condition
or needs a total remodel,
call Cash Now Philly today for a local fair cash offer.
Call 215-798-5555.
Now a look at sports.
Here's Dan.
Rob and Wendy, nationally ranked Lehigh Wrestling, fresh off a thrilling victory over Conference Power Cornell. Right back at it tonight. The Penn Quakers in town with Navy set to visit tomorrow afternoon. 133, Ryan Crookham, a local product, ranked #1 in the country, comes back in his bout against number 10, Michael Kolioko, as he snags the 4-2 decision with this takedown in the third period. Next bout had some drama at 141. Went to overtime. Malik Hines battling C.J. Composto, and Hines able to lock him in good position and eventually gets the points and the sudden victory as Lehigh goes up 6-3. It was back and forth. 2 matches left. Lehigh down 14-13. Michael Beard delivers in a big way at 197. Gets the pin. Puts the Mountain Hawks in front, and they go on to win their third duel in a row, 24-14, the final. Top-ranked Penn State visiting Michigan and Michigan State this weekend in Big Ten action, opening up in Ann Arbor tonight. The Nittany Lion machine just marching on at 165. Mitchell Messenbrink, a 12-1 major decision over Cameron Amin. And then Aaron Brooks, top ranked at 197, picked up 6 takedowns en route to a 20-5 Tech fall. They've been celebrating a bit in Ann Arbor lately, but not tonight. Penn State wins 8 of 10 bouts. They roll over the Wolverines 27-9. And the high school ranks, Saucon Valley Notre Dame is supposed to be tonight, but like pretty much all of our local scholastic sports schedule, it was postponed. The rivals are now set to meet tomorrow at Saucon, 6:30 p.m. start. Both teams in familiar spots coming in, contending for top spots in the Colonial League and District 11 rankings. Chad Shirk's guys a bit younger this year, but the standard and the culture remains the same.
He makes sure that everybody does the right things constantly, even though sometimes we might think that he's saying the same stuff over and over, but like he truly wants the best for us, and like he makes sure that like we're on top of our stuff, and I definitely appreciate him for that.
The 76ers took care of the reigning NBA champs earlier this week. Philadelphia riding a 3-game winning streak, taking the show on the road. First of a back-to-back in Orlando tonight. First quarter, it's Tyrese Maxey swatting it away. Tobias Harris, bucket and one the other way. Harris had 12 points, Maxey 32. What a year he's having. And, of course, Joel Embiid having himself a year. Just alley-ooping himself. He had a game-high 36 points as the Sixers win their 4th in a row, 124-109. And the Phantoms, the start of a 2-game set in Cleveland. The Monsters double up the visitors 4-2. Lehigh Valley has dropped the first 2 games of this road trip. But a pretty good night for a couple of ranked Pennsylvania collegiate wrestling programs tonight.
Very good.
Okay.
Now tonight's commentary.
Here's Dick Dean.
The Chicago airport has been that connecting point for so many trips out west. It was a fun place where all kinds of memories returned as we walked our way through the halls of that Chicago O'Hare International Airport, an historic transportation hub. There was a lot to explore as we'd grab a bite and waited to board our next flight. One more hop and we'd land in Denver, L.A., or San Diego. However, the present-day Chicago airport traffic is a bit different from the past under Washington's new progressive policies that have transformed historic O'Hare into a makeshift shelter and a waypoint for illegal aliens. If you find it necessary to use that beautiful airport, you may have to wind your way through the illegal aliens scattered all over the hallways of O'Hare's bus terminal, which essentially has been turned into a migration checkpoint for illegal immigrants who arrive there. It's not their fault. They have no idea where to go next. They've been invited into the United States, given a Biden cell phone and some money, and now what's next? Indeed, this is just their waypoint, and there's no more room in downtown Chicago. Just check with the mayor, and he'll let you know. Changes for the better or change for the worse.
Closed captioning brought to you by Lehigh Valley Riley Children's Hospital, the region's first and only children's hospital. LVHN also has the most comprehensive care for kids, featuring the only health network built just for them. LVHN, your kids' health deserves a partner too.
That'll do it for 69 News at 10.
And the Berks edition starts right now.
Your life, your world, your news. This is 69 News Berks edition, live at 10:30.
The snow is done. Here comes the cold. More of it. Here's a live look at the Penn Street Bridge in Reading tonight. It's a frigid night. Following the snow, we got a few inches, as you know. Good evening once again. I'm Rob Vaughn.
I'm Wendy Davis. The snow will be sticking around for a while, and there is a threat that the roads could refreeze tonight as the temperatures continue to go down this weekend.
Meteorologist Clayton Stivers with us again to tell us more about the snow amounts and how low those temperatures could go. Clayton?
Yeah, so once again, Rob and Wendy, this storm here, certainly not a whopper. It's more of those minor nuisance type deals here. Nevertheless, seeing several inches depending on where you were located across the county. Here's a look at some of the numbers. Spring Township, just over 4 inches, 3.5 inches for Huff's Church and Reading. Byrne Township at 3.3 inches, and Blandon checks in with 3 inches. So all in all, generally between 3 and 4 inches across Berks County for the totals. Areas further to the south and east, getting closer towards Philly, though. This is where we saw our highest numbers here. How about Royersford at 6 inches here between Bucks and Montgomery counties. Norristown just over 5.5 for New Hope. Richboro at 4.5 and 4.3 inches for Lansdale. And finally, stopping in the more immediate Philly and Camden areas, nearly 6 inches for Belmont. Blackwood just shy of that. Philly at 5, as well as Cherry Hill and Fox Chase at 4.3 inches. But the bulk of our storm system now, it's out of here tonight. Still maybe a lingering flurry or a brief snow shower, but all in all, just kind of still dealing with some mostly cloudy sky for here for a while. And eventually, I think the clouds are going to be clearing out. But yeah, we start to turn our attention to these gusty northwesterly winds, ushering in a reinforcing shot of some Arctic air. So there's a live look again from that Penn Street Bridge camera, downtown Reading. It looks like the road's certainly much improved, but you're still likely going to have some sloppy backcountry and secondary roads. So watch for those areas of black ice as we head into the weekend. Maybe some blowing and drifting snow as well across the roads to lead to slipperiness with the gusty winds. We get some of that clearing overnight. Low temperatures in the teens. Notice the winds picking up 10 to 20 plus miles per hour. Wind chills down in the lower single digits by first thing tomorrow morning. And we'll have a little bit of sun to start tomorrow, but then we kind of cloud up as we move through the day, although it is generally dry. High temperatures only in the lower 20s. I am tracking a pretty significant warm-up, though. Next week, we'll talk more about it in a bit with your 7-day. Right now, we'll send it back to Wendy and Rob.
All right, thank you, Clayton. Well, for the second time in a week, people in Berks County are cleaning off some light, fluffy snow off the cars and sidewalks.
Many people have been hard at work to remove the snow ahead of this deep freeze. 69 News reporter Paloma Frayun is live in Reading with more on that. Paloma.
Robin, Wendy, that's right. A snow blanket covered Berks County today, and a neighborhood came together to lend each other a hand. It was a cold job, but an even colder night laid ahead.
I've been in this neighborhood all my life.
It's been a couple of years since the plows and shovels left the garages here in Robinson Township.
Take care of the neighbors. So that's what I do. I'm usually out here. My Uncle John, we go in harmony. Now the new neighbor, Meraki's, Eric, he got a plow. We work together in this little neighborhood.
Chrissy and her husband own a restaurant, Meraki Manor on Old River Road.
Our restaurant is open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, so when Mother Nature snows, it puts a deep hole in our pockets. So we're just trying to get it all cleared for our customers.
It's shaping up to be a busy night.
Probably have about 20, 22, somewhere around there reservations, probably about 80 people.
Only a couple cancellations.
Not bad. I really thought I was going to get a lot of cancellations today, but I think people are coming out and supporting us small businesses, which is awesome.
They're looking at the bright side. They say this isn't the worst storm they've had to clean up after.
It's a little later than normal, so I'm not winded yet.
I don't mind it at all. I like it.
Neighbors say they're more concerned about the freezing temperatures tonight and this weekend than they are about the snow. Live in Reading, Paloma Frayun, 69 News.
Thank you, Paloma. Well, many in the Antietam Valley also spent the day clearing snow. We found people shoveling and clearing off their cars in Mount Penn and Lower Alsace Township. Some had snow blowers going to clear off driveways and sidewalks. We also spotted trash haulers hard at work during the storm. Well, as the snow came down, PennDOT and Reading Public Works crews hit the road with plows and salt. 69 News reporter Caitlin Reardon tagged along with the crews to see how they stayed ahead of the storm.
We're out here trying to keep the roads safe for the public. We try to make sure that you clean off the double yellow line to the white line and the shoulders.
PennDOT crews have been making the rounds as snow continued to fall.
It's a rather light snow.
While not the most overwhelming storm they've dealt with, crews still have an important job.
That's the biggest concern. We want to make sure that, because once it gets dark, the temperatures drop, and it's supposed to get well below freezing, I believe.
Public Works crews in Reading also continued to go over routes. They say small half-streets can be some of the biggest challenges.
Yeah, there's a number of streets that are always tight to get in. You can't make the swing because of the way they park on the corners. It makes it tough.
Caitlin Reardon, 69 News.
A food truck made the rounds today to feed people who were stuck at home during the storm. Staff at Kamali Taqueria in West Reading got busy in the kitchen this morning, prepping food for a community collaboration with Reading's Oak Brook Brewing. And workers hit the snowy roads in a food truck. They made stops in various parts of Spring Township, offering free drinks and selling Mexican food.
We definitely try to reach out to the community. It's why we're here. It's why we're so successful to this point, is because of the community. So we try to do a little bit more, a little extra when we can. And especially, like I said, we have the food truck. We have the capability of going out and giving the community, taking it to them.
Hazard shared details about their stops on social media. Fun idea. The snow and cold and ice did not stop people from going to the Santander Arena.
Comedian Nate Bargatze was in town, and folks with tickets braved the roads to see him. 69 News reporter Sarah Madonna has more.
You know what they say, the show must go on. In this case, a little snow was not going to stop comedian Nate Bargatze from hitting the stage in Reading or his fans from coming to see him.
A little nervous for me. I just held on and put it in his hands. A little dicey, but you know, we were doing 30, 35 the whole way up here.
Marion Pearsall Miller and her husband Glenn made the trip from Lancaster. They were nervous about the weather and how it might affect their plans.
I was a little bummed that it might be canceled, but I'm glad it's on.
Oh, it's on. Nate Bargatze broke a Santander Arena record with the most tickets sold. Over 9,000 people bought tickets to his Be Funny tour stop.
It's crazy, dude. And your special is the biggest show in the history of Amazon Prime.
Selling out arenas is nothing new to Bargatze, whose fame has skyrocketed.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nate Bargatze.
Even recently hosting Saturday Night Live.
I want to hear Nate in person. I've seen him online, and I think he's terrific, and looking forward to hearing him in person.
She's probably in this shed.
Winning over fans with his clean style of humor.
He's family friendly. Our kids really love him. They were jealous that they didn't get to come tonight.
So on with the show, despite the snow. Sarah Madonna, 69 News.
And our viewers sent us plenty of photos of how they spent their snow day. You can check out a photo gallery on our website, WFMZ.com. You can also find the latest forecast updates. A train car blocked traffic in Pottstown.
Where cars were at a standstill, we'll show you coming up next.
Plus, lawmakers are investigating a state senator's alleged involvement in efforts to overturn the 2020 election. And Clayton will be back with the forecast.
Connect with your local news on Facebook. Like 69 WFMZ TV and click See First to get 69 News at the top of your feed. You're watching 69 News Berks Edition, live at 10:30 with Rob Vaughn, Wendy Davis, Dan Moscartolo with sports, and meteorologist Clayton Stiver with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast.
New tonight, a train car blocked traffic on a street in Pottstown in Montgomery County. Drivers were stopped on West King Street near Pottsgrove Manor. That's near Route 100 and Route 663 on West High Street. Montgomery County Dispatch confirmed that a train was partially blocking the street. But the scene has since been cleared. Fire police had blocked off parts of the road along with the exit off of Route 100.
Schuylkill County officials say a man with connections to the Grandview Speedway died in a crash in West Penn Township last weekend. The coroner's office says Hunter Latalees died of blunt force trauma. The single car crash happened Sunday night on Route 895 near Troxel Valley Road. He was also a graduate of Northwestern Lehigh High School.
State lawmakers are investigating a state senator who was also a former candidate for governor, Doug Mastriano. Spotlight PA reports that State Senator Art Haywood filed a complaint citing Mastriano's actions during the 2020 election. Haywood says Mastriano used his position to try to overturn the 2020 election. Mastriano was at the Capitol during the January 6th, 2021 attacks. Mastriano has denied wrongdoing and has criticized this investigation.
A member of Israel's war cabinet says only a ceasefire can stop the country's conflict in Gaza. The former army chief spoke to the Israeli press about the situation. He criticized Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's efforts, saying a ceasefire is the best way to help the hostages. He also says it might not be possible to wipe out Hamas. Netanyahu has not backed down, saying they will not stop until Hamas is eliminated. A Texas grand jury will investigate the deadly mass shooting at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. Uvalde County's district attorney did not tell the San Antonio Express News that the grand jury will investigate specifically. The announcement comes a day after the U.S. Justice Department released a report criticizing the police response to the shooting. The report suggests lives could have been saved if police had confronted the gunman sooner. The shooter killed 21 people, including 19 children.
The 69 News Storm Center is rooted in your neighborhood.
We live here. We forecast here because the weather in our area
News Berks Edition, call 610-372-6969 or email us at berksnews@wfmz.com. If you have a story for 69 News Berks Edition, call 610-372-6969 or email us at berksnews@wfmz.com.
A Kutztown University student shares her story as she waits for a life-changing kidney donation.
If you have a story for 69 News Berks Edition, call 610-372-6969 or email us at berksnews@wfmz.com.
A Kutztown University student shares her story as she waits for a life-changing kidney donation. Brianna Herrera has been waiting for a donation for a few years now. She's currently a music major at KU. It wasn't until her transplant coordinator introduced her to Gift of Life that she decided to share her story with the world. Until the match is made, she's been giving herself the necessary care in her dorm room.
So the way that I do dialysis, I'm doing it through a way called peritoneal dialysis, PD dialysis. So there's a port in my stomach, and basically dialysis solution goes and like dwells in me and then goes out. And it happens while I sleep, and it gets a little bit frustrating because I don't really sleep those 10 hours as a college student, but I'm trying to live.
Herrera says she hopes she can inspire others by telling her story. The Gift of Life donor program is marking 50 years of service.
Thankfully, no one's hurt after a plane heading to Lancaster made an emergency landing on a highway in Virginia. Federal officials say 7 people were on this plane when it made a hard landing at the Loudoun County Parkway. Flight tracking website FlightAware says the plane had taken off from Dulles International and only moved about 800 feet into the air before it came down on the highway. Glad they're okay. Now we check the forecast.
Here's Clayton.
Well, I've traveled on that stretch of road before. That's scary stuff for sure. Glad everybody is okay there. All right, we're definitely done with our storm system now here tonight. Things certainly quieter. Looking live downtown Reading, the Pagoda Skyline camera here. Of course, continue to be mindful. Certainly backcountry and secondary roads likely still going to be a little bit of, sloppiness out there. There's going to be a refreeze of any standing leftover water and slush. And one of the things we'll have to watch for now, too, as we go into the weekend, the winds are going to ramp up. That'll probably blow some snow around on the roads as well, and that could make for some slippery spots. So just all things to keep in mind. We've got mostly cloudy sky right now for Reading. It's 24 degrees. Feels like 15, though. Those winds will continue to get stronger out of the north and west as the night progresses here. We will eventually see more in the way of clearing sky, though, as right now temperatures still generally are in the lower 20s, but I think we're going to settle well back into the teens. And wait till you see what the wind chill values are going to be like as we get to first thing tomorrow morning. Might still be a brief flurry out there early on tonight, but in general, looking at pretty dry conditions. There's a little bit more area of snow showers there across central PA, but that should stay mainly back to our west, maybe clipping some of western Lebanon and Lancaster counties there. But yeah, hardly even seeing our storm system left anymore, really kind of fizzling out as that low pressure system works further out to sea here. Again, wrapping around it, though, that northwesterly flow driving in a reinforcing shot of Arctic cold air. Look at all the single digits and teens for temperatures tonight here to the north and west. So here's a look at your weekend forecast. Saturday, expecting a high of only 23. Largely dry, maybe a flurry in the afternoon. That's about it. Mostly cloudy, though. Otherwise, blustery, bitterly cold. Sunday, mostly sunny skies do return. The winds still a bit brisk, and our high temperature a tad warmer, but still below normal for this time of the year, only around 30 degrees. Let's take a look at the real field temperatures now. This is when we factor in the winds. Yeah, by first thing tomorrow morning, feeling like it's down in the lower single digits, close to 0 in spots, and even tomorrow afternoon, still wind chills single digits. We'll keep wind chills in the single digits overnight Saturday into Sunday morning first thing. Then you can see here Sunday afternoon, the wind chills do get a little bit higher into the teens. It's still very cold, but it is somewhat of an improvement compared to earlier, and it gives you a sense that the winds finally really start to lighten up a bit as we go into our Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. Now, the other big reason for the cold, and really for the last several days, it's because we've had a trough, pretty deep one as well, locked in place across much of the middle and eastern half of the lower 48 here. But notice what happens. Next week, that trough exits. It's replaced by a ridge, and that in combination with eventually more of a southwesterly wind flow are going to give us a late January thaw here. All right, we're talking numbers that won't be in like the 50s and 60s, but certainly 40s not out of the question, maybe making a run towards 50 degrees down the road as we look at that trend over the next 10 days. Very cold for the weekend, but more seasonable upper 30s by the start of next week, and then we're climbing through the 40s, nearing 50 Thursday, maybe into the 50s Friday. a tad lower, but still above 40 degrees, a little above normal there for next weekend. Now, that warm-up does come with a little bit of unsettledness, though, I think, as well. You can see chances for precipitation increasing Tuesday and beyond there, but as you might imagine, that is going to be in the liquid form, just rain showers, although it doesn't look like it's anything that heavy at this point. Future sat-rat overnight, there's some of that clearing with time. Saturday starting sunny, but then we'll cloud up here by midday afternoon, but largely dry outside of a stray flurry. Saturday night, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy sky. Dry conditions Sunday, getting back to some clearer sky here. Certainly a lot more sunshine returning as the day wears on, but of course it's still very cold. 17 tonight. The winds kicking up out of the northwest, 10 to 20, an early flurry, then the clearing sky. 23 tomorrow, mostly cloudy, blustery and cold. Northwesterly winds 15 to 25. Our AccuWeather 7-day forecast, keeping it a bit windy. Sunday, at least the first part of the day, mostly sunny around 30. 37 on Monday, less wind, sun, and clouds. Tuesday, mostly cloudy near 40. Chance for a little light rain and snow Tuesday night. Doesn't really amount to much. And then maybe some PM showers, somewhat cloudy there Wednesday around 40. Even milder Thursday and Friday, but cloudy with some more shower chances. Wendy, Rob, back to you.
Thanks,
Clayton. Coming up in sports, the Royals open the weekend in Maine.
And the Sixers began a road swing in Orlando. Dan has those stories and more coming up next.
'69 Sports is brought to you by Volkswagen. At the Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event, you can leave your maintenance cost worries behind. Hurry and
Welcome back. Time for a look at sports.
Here's Dan.
Rob, Wendy, the 76ers took care of the reigning NBA champs earlier this week. Philadelphia riding a 3-game winning streak, taking the show on the road. First of a back-to-back in Orlando. First quarter, Tyrese Maxey swatting it away on the defensive end. Look at Tobias Harris all the way the other way. Bucket and one. Harris had 12 points. Maxey added 32. And then, of course, there's Joel Embiid. Well, he's just going to alley-oop himself off the backboard. Game high 36 for JoJo as the Sixers go on to win it 124 to 109. That is their fourth win in a row. The Royals and Mariners continuing their marathon series in Maine tonight. First period, 1-1 game. That's Tag Bertuzzi putting Reading in front before the first intermission. Second period, still 2-1. Joseph Nardi this time. Somehow able to get this to go. Some traffic in front. That made it 3-1 after 2. Late third, it's 4-2, and it's the All-Star himself, Matt Brown, as the Royals get a breakaway here and some numbers. In fact, the whiff there from the defenseman, a nice back and forth there. It's Brown putting it away as the Royals post a 5-2 win to open the weekend. Now, some warm weather vibes here, even if it's anything but outside. Got the Reading Hot Stovers Banquet Thursday night in Reading, featuring some baseball legends. Then the Phillies Winter Caravan, making its annual stop in the Lehigh Valley last night as well. Manager Rob Thompson headlining the contingent on hand for a meet and greet, photo op, and media session. Thompson excited about the start of spring training, saying the guys have moved on from the tough finish to last postseason. It was a slow start for the club last year, and he has some thoughts as to what they could do to try and minimize that.
Ramp up the last 5 games, week of games where we're playing to win, and it's a little higher intensity. You want to put people in harm's way, though. You don't want to get people hurt in spring training, so you got to be careful with that. But maybe just ramp up the intensity a little bit coming down the end.
And college wrestling tonight, top-ranked Penn State visiting Michigan and Michigan State this weekend in Big Ten action. The Nittany Lions opening things in Ann Arbor tonight at 165. That's Mitchell Messenbrink, a 12-1 major decision over Cameron Amin. And it's Aaron Brooks, top-ranked at 197, picked up 6 takedowns en route to a 20-5 tech fall. That Penn State machine keeps marching on. They take 8 of 10 bouts. They roll over the Wolverines 27-9. Back to Rob Thompson real quick, though. At the start of our kind of one-on-one last night, I was like, Rob, you've probably heard this question a few times already. He immediately goes, Kyle Schwarber's batting leadoff. Wasn't going to be my question.
No.
But you can clearly tell he's well versed in that.
He's hearing that. That's
yes.
what he's expecting. Yeah. So Schwarber's leadoff, huh? Okay.
Apparently. Yep.
Good to know.
Yep.
Got it nailed down. Thanks, Dan.
We'll be back.
Power Nation, America's most watched automotive how-to programming, is now available anytime, anywhere, on any device with Viewit.com and the Viewit app. Enjoy popular titles like Engine Power, Truck Tech, and Detroit Muscle in an always-on stream, or pick your favorite show to watch. Join automotive enthusiasts across the nation today at Viewit.com or the Viewit app for your favorite device.
That is going to do it for us.
Yep, thank you for watching. Your local news in Spanish is next. Stay warm tonight. Good night.
Good night.